Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to do something a little different. I would like to show you guys the cards that we have here in the Outlaws of Thunder Junction. That's our newest set. I'm going to kind of do it in the ways that I've been doing it in the past. I've been breaking it down by rarity and showing you what I think are the top 10 cards for each rarity. This video is going to cover the top 10 cards in this set here, the Outlaws of Thunder Junction, that are all masterpieces. Alright, so let's take a look at the masterpieces. Okay, so here we are. This is the first one, and I gotta remind you guys that they are not coming out in any particular order. This one is just the first one to show up on your screen here. Angel of the Ruins. For 24, you get a creature here. It's an artifact creature. You can read it for yourself. Cycling 3, when this creature enters the battlefield, exile all other creatures and supports, then exile all cards from your hand and from your opponent's hand. This is an interesting one. I think this one is in the top 10. This is one of those cards that's just going to wipe the board clean. It's a really interesting card because sometimes we have to find ways to put cards into the exile. That's not very easy unless you have cards like this. This will help you to put cards into the exile for creatures or planeswalkers like Kaya 1. Kaya 1's really good for cards, really not just creatures, but really cards that help you to put things into your exile. If you get a card into your exile with Kaya 1, that's going to help you because you're going to be able to do damage with her final ability. So this is going to be one that really helps you there. I like this one also because a lot of times in games you'll fall behind. Your opponent will have a pretty sizable advantage, and you're going to need cards like this to just wipe everything clean, kind of start all over again. And this is it's an excellent card for that. Anyway, here's the next card I want to show. Villainous Wealth. Support card again for 20. At the beginning of your turn, fetch the first 2 cards from your opponent's library. Those cards gain full mana. This is an interesting one. I wish it was, grab from your library and then those cards get mana, but it's not. But that's fine. This is still a good card. This card will take cards from your opponent's library. You're going to get them for free. And I think that's important. It kind of helps if your opponent is using a good deck. If they're not, then this card's going to be a little limited. But what I like about this card is it will help you to find out what your opponent is doing, what kind of strategies they're playing, and you're going to be able to take their cards away from them, right? So a good example is if you are using this card and you see the Gear Hulk, the combustible Gear Hulk, then you kind of know that they're going to want to play that card and do a ton of draw to just throw tons of direct damage at you, right? So that gives you a little heads up that helps you to plan a little bit more in the future what you're going to do, and it's a way to just really help you to win games. Okay, here's the next one. Back in Town. Spell card 18, it says. Return all Outlaw and Mount cards from your graveyard to the battlefield under your control. Then your opponent loses X life and you gain X life. X is the total power of creatures you control. Okay, so that's going to be pretty nasty if you have big creatures, right? Obviously, if you have big creatures, you're going to gain a lot of life from this, and your opponent's going to lose a lot of life. So that's going to be helpful. Of course, what we're going to hope to get is a nice, strong deck that's got a lot of Outlaws and a lot of Mounts, right? If you can get those into play, this is going to be a terrific card for you. Okay, here's the next one, Lock and Load. Spell card again, 16 mana. It says here, Plot 16. Plot's an interesting one. Plot's one of those that are, a little bit hard to understand. But I'll just click over here. Plot 16. If you exile this card from your hand with the amount of mana equal or greater to this card's plot value in this card gains the plotted emblem. Some cards have additional effects while this card has the plotted emblem. You can read it for yourself here. Basically, we'll have the 16 on the card. We'll get rid of it through the exile from your hand. At that point, it'll come back. It'll be fully paid off here, as you can see. And then it'll have the plotted emblem. Then you'll be able to use the ability that's indicated here. Alright, so that's basically it. Discard your hand, draw 4 cards. The last 2 cards in your hand gain full mana. This is a really interesting one because it's another way to just help you to get free stuff. Free stuff is excellent. You guys always want to try to get free stuff as long as it doesn't impede your ability to do the things that you need to do. Free stuff is always cool. Alright, and then it says here, then if this card has the plotted emblem, which it may if you choose to use that plotted ability, return each opposing creature to your opponent's hand. So that's kind of cool. It gives you the ability to play some offense and some defense on the same card here. Really nice. Okay, here's the next one. Vihan Goldwaker. It's a creature, a warlock dwarf, you can see it here. At the beginning of your turn, create a gold token. Then create X Death Touch Assassin tokens. X is 2 times the number of simple cards you control, including their reinforcements. At the beginning of the combat on your turn, outlaw creatures you control gain vigilance and haste. Let's take a look at these simple tokens. Simple tokens are treasures, golds, bloods, the map tokens that you have, clues, and food tokens. And if you can get those, or maybe a lot of those, what you'll see is that this is going to help you a lot, right? You'll be able to get these Death Touch Assassin tokens. You can see here there are the 1/1 assassins. Kind of nice. Hopefully you're going to be able to put a ton of those simple tokens down and just load these guys up, right? And it's going to be awesome. It's a nice thing, of course, at the beginning of your turn, so you'll be able to get more and more. And really what you're hoping to do is just overwhelm your opponent with those Death Touch Assassins. And kind of just judging by this card, it looks like that's going to be something that you're going to be able to do easily as long as you get a ton of gold cards out. Yeah, very cool. Okay, Felix 5 Boots. Here's the next one. Ooze Rogue. Ward, drain 6 mana from your hand. When a creature you control deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, create a copy of that card in your hand. That card gets full mana. Alright, so this is an interesting one. I had to read this one a few times to kind of figure out what it's supposed to be doing. But obviously, when you have a creature and it deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, you can copy that card and put it in your hand. And like I said, here it's going to gain full mana. That's really, really nice. What I'm hoping this is going to help me to do is just reinforce big, nasty creatures that I have on the board on my side. And that's just going to hopefully turn into a big snowball, and it's just going to defeat the enemy as quickly as you'll be able to get these big creatures out. So really, really cool stuff. Here's the next one. Loot, the key to everything. All right, Beast Noble says here for 14. When this card enters the battlefield, this creature gains shield count of 3. Then exile the top 10 cards from your library. At the beginning of your turn, return a random card from your exile to your hand. That card gains full mana. This is a nice one. I like that second part of the card. At the beginning of your turn, return a random card from your exile to your hand. That will gain full mana. What I'm thinking here is if you can keep your exile low, right, just only a few cards in there, that's going to help you to control what card comes into your hand at the beginning of your turn. Then probably what I would do is take a look at your hand, is try to pick the card that you want there the most, and then exile that one. Once you exile that one, there's a good chance that you'll be able to bring it back into your hand with full mana at the beginning of your next turn. Kind of depending on how many cards you have in your exile. But if you can manage it in a way where you don't have a lot, maybe you only have that one, this is going to be one that's really, really good. Okay, here's the next one, Desolate Meer. It's a support card, it's a land. Activate 4 whites. You gain 6 mana and 3 loyalty. Activate 4 blacks. Creatures you control gain Death Touch and Life Link until the beginning of your next turn. This is an interesting one here. I like this top ability. You gain 6 mana and 3 loyalty. What I'm obviously thinking of doing is destroying all of the gems every single turn. If you can hit all of those gems every turn, or maybe just at least these white ones here, you'll gain 6 mana times 4, that's 24 mana every single turn. Then you would get 3 loyalty times 4, that would be 12 loyalty every single turn. That's pretty nice. You'd probably be super happy with that if you could land that every turn. And there's planeswalkers out there like Elspeth 1. Elspeth 1 is a really good one that helps you to hit those activate gems. But you know what? You don't have to use her. There's other ones that will just help you to smash these things, kind of like using lots of those conversion gems. Also, you convert gems. Hopefully you'll hit this one here. That's cool. Right, this is the 9th card here, Topor Orb. It's an artifact card, costs you 9. When a creature enters the battlefield, disable it until the beginning of its controller's next turn. Then if it is an opposing creature, it gains stun counter 1. When another support card enters the board, disable it until the beginning of its controller's next turn. Then each support card that isn't named Topor Orb from that controller loses 1 shield. This can affect vanguards. I think we kind of see what the whole point of this card is. A lot of decks will be designed in a way where you can load up on creatures and then destroy your opponent. Just, you know, maybe they've got haste. This, I think, is a good one to stop that, is as long as it makes sure it plays correctly. This is going to be one that stops that really nicely. And then even for the supports that are in the game, this is going to be one that stops those and will kind of give you another turn to play something good. So really interesting card. This is a nice defensive card here. Okay, here we are. This is the last one that I've included on this video. Demolition Field. Support card. It's a land. Activate 2 of each color. Gain 4 mana for each of those that you hit. Then destroy a random opposing support. This can affect vanguards. This one, as you can see, kind of like one of the previous ones I've shown here on this video, I'm going to try to destroy all of those orbs or those activate gems. I'm going to try to destroy them all every single turn. This one is interesting. If I destroy all of them, there are going to be 2 from each color. That means 10 in total. And if I got 10, I'll gain 4 mana for each of them that I'm able to destroy. That's a lot of mana. That's 40 mana every single turn. This is one that I'm going to hope to get and then just hope to use it in a way that I can hit all of those every single turn. And if you can do that, that's going to be great. That's going to be one that just really helps you, gives you a huge advantage. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out all the other videos in this series where I go over all of the rarities and just kind of point out some of the best wish list cards that you guys can look at, and hopefully you'll be able to collect them. Anyway, that's it for me. Like and subscribe, share with all your friends. Of course, that helps the channel. And that's it. Good gaming, guys.